Hey, I'm Victoria Bottorff, and today I'm going to be talking about how to prepare and implement an ethical social media policy. So really quick, an overview of what this report is going to entail and what my written report for you also entails is why you should have a social media policy, how to take an ethical approach to that policy, what the policy should include, implementation tips, and also some real-world examples. So the main issue at hand here is that employees represent their company or the company that they work for at all times, including in their online and personal online behavior. So because of this, in order to mitigate future risk and possible crises, the company needs to implement an ethical social media policy. So the rationale behind this is simply that social media usage is at its all-time highest right now. A Pew Research study found that about 72% of U.S. adults, that's Americans over the age of 18, report using at least one social media platform. As you can see in the graph here, that's up exponentially since the dawn of social media around 2003, and they started tracking this in about 2005, where it was about 5%, and now up to about 72% of adults using social media. So continuing with that, about 75% of Facebook users report that they use the platform at least once a day. And about 17% report using it weekly, and 9% report using it less than once a week. So the reality of your situation is that employees use social media, a majority of them use social media, and the company can be held accountable for their actions on these platforms. So the ethical theory used to create a social media policy, it should be Aristotle's virtue theory and his concept of eudaimonia. And this should be not only implemented in the social media policy, but throughout the other areas of the company as well. And as Aristotle, to summarize Aristotle's thoughts, to strive for virtue means to strive to do the right thing at the right time in the right way towards the right people and in the right amount. And furthermore, a virtuous person who has achieved eudaimonia, or as Aristotle put it, the chief good, always knows what to say, can diffuse a tense situation, can deliver tough news gracefully, is confident without being arrogant, and is brave but not reckless, and is also generous but never extravagant. And this is the type of person that every company wants working for them and representing them. And some people are going to come to the company already being on this path, and others may need some help along the way. So really implementing this idea of striving for virtue in all decisions in all areas of the business and valuing it as a company will help employees, will help shape their behavior at work and at home and also online. So the content, a brief overview of what it should include. More detail is included in the report for each of these items, but it should include the platform's terms and conditions, a confidentiality statement, social media responsibilities as it pertains to the company's accounts, who holds passwords, who is in charge of security, things like that. Also, general security protocols and guidelines of how to behave on a personal account, legal compliance, such as copyright laws that users need to abide by, and also intolerable actions such as bullying or harassment, and what consequences in the workplace might be if employees are caught behaving that way. Implementation, the biggest part of this would be making the policy readily available for employees, including it maybe in your employee handbook that is given to all employees, and also a virtual easy access version of it, so employees can reference it whenever they need to. Also, update employees regularly about changes, whether it be to the terms and conditions or the approach the company is taking. Employees need to be aware of the rules in order to follow them. You should also train employees in how to behave on personal accounts and the company's accounts, and also make clear responsibility assignments within the company. So Adidas actually provides a really good working example of a social media policy. And so we're going to talk about some key takeaways, but in my written report, you will also find the entire Adidas social media policy. It's just a few pages long, and it has some really good key points that you should reference when creating your own. So the major takeaways you'll find are to be clear about the policy guidelines, but not overbearing or controlling. To advise employees to be conscious in their online behavior. They include a great line about what you put online lives online for a really, really long time. So really think about what you're putting out into the world, and also encourage respect and ethical behavior in online activity. So, to summarize, the lines between personal and professional realms of life are being blurred more than ever. And to prevent future crisis and mitigate risk to the company, you need to implement an ethical social media policy. And to further that and to really help predict positive online behavior, you need to implement ethical theory and ethical decision making throughout all aspects of the company. And finally, this policy should really encourage employees to live out the company's values and be good people. So that has been how to implement and prepare an ethical social media policy. Thank you for your time.